Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, Internet Ninja marketer Christian D. Evans, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
I want to introduce a good friend of mine. I've met him as he was on stage, firing everybody up in the audience. I was at an event in Orlando, a real estate coaching event. Many of you might know I also do some home flipping for fun. And we did probably in the last couple of years, over 30 flip homes, mostly in the Central Florida area. So that's been another success product in my background. But I'm at this event and met Doug on this. I met him prior to that, but got to see him on stage at this event with hundreds of people. Kept us fired up all the way till midnight. We were up past midnight, jumping out of our chairs, fired up and excited. And I never met anybody who can quite entertain and excite an audience like Doug. He is one of my business coaches as well on making sure I've got the right mindset for the future. So I want to turn it over to Doug. Doug, take it away. Tell us about yourself and tell us how you can help us thrive next year versus survive when it comes to the upcoming recession.
Well, thank you so much. Give Marco a hand. Very nice, very nice. Yes. So thank you so much. And you are definitely one of the like, I love your ad. Not only do you look like that dude from the Dos Equis commercial, you are one of the most interesting men in business. I love it. So thank you so much. And thank you for, by the way, for playing full out until midnight that night. That was pretty, I mean, for us, that's par for the course, but for you, that may not be as, like normal for you to still be rocking. So, and just out of curiosity, for all of our friends here, since we don't have the chat enabled, you can use the Q&A section to comment in there. So we'll be in there. How many of y'all have been to some sort of training, some sort of seminar, personal growth, business seminars, just to get a read as to where you're at? So some of the things I may share will make, not necessarily more sense, but when we talk about my background and who I am, it may resonate with you, and you would understand kind of why we were up so late that night. So looking forward to seeing that in the chat. But let me share my screen for a moment, and let me put this over here. And there we go. So we'll bounce in and out. Ooh, other way around. What's going on here? Let's swap displays. No, what am I doing here? It's not working, right? I may just do it this way.
You do that. Yeah, I see a number of people here have attended events, Brave Thinking Institute. I'm here about a lot of annual members of Marketing Boost, Tony Robbins event, Grant Cardone event with. Nice. So we got the shakers and the doers and the shakers here.
Movers and the shakers.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So now are you seeing the screen? Is that making more sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're great, Tony Robbins. So we'll get into a little bit of my history on a high level. I was handpicked by Tony to be a national trainer with him and to add as much value as humanly possible to entrepreneurs, business owners, and to help them take their lives, their personal and professional lives, to the next level. So what we'll be talking about is the personal aspect of our professional lives, if that's okay. So what we have going on right now, it's no lie that things are a little wacky, but I know we can't hear you. Everyone's not online. We're not on cameras right now, but what I'd like you to do is I'm going to play a slide in a moment. What I'd like you to do is read it out loud. Say the word out loud, and just go ahead. Say that out loud. And Marco, you could do it if you want as well.
Opportunity is nowhere.
All right. So in the chat window, who got opportunity is nowhere? And Marco, guess what? This could also say opportunity is now here.
Of course, can't figure out how to read English.
Well, no, so I put that there because that will give you a nice little insight as to where. Oh, you got now here. Great, Louis. Oh, sure. All right. So we got some wise ones here. That'll give you also a little key as to what's going on other than consciously. Sometimes we may see some things that aren't necessarily there or could be misstrued. And such is life. That'll happen quite a bit, won't it? So the truth is if we're really honest, things are getting crazy these days, right? We all have been through a little bit of the COVID craziness, right? And then there was some other challenges going on and people not happy with things and taking action, right? And then, of course, you've got to pick a side through all of this. You can't just be in the middle. It's one or the other. If you're on either side, then it is easier for us to apparently have a conversation or not. Things are not pretty, right? We now have looming recession opportunity to freak out about. And then fortunately, this isn't what we're doing anymore for traveling, but it was pretty crazy. And that became sort of the new normal, right? But wait, there's more. We've got now the monkeypox. We've got the WEF and what's going on with that. There's crime rate going up. It's going absolutely bananas. And we'd be lying to ourselves, wouldn't we? We'd be lying to ourselves to say that we're not being impacted by this. So throw in the chat window if you've noticed that people have been behaving a little differently, or in the Q&A section, that they're behaving a little bit differently. People are more cautious, maybe a little more scared, more frustrated, a lot of pointing fingers, a lot of different emotions that are showing up. We're going to talk about that. So real quickly, in order for you and I to succeed through this, we can't get sucked into all of that drama. Can we? So first thing you and I need to do is we need to commit to change, commit to challenging ourselves to greatness. We have a huge, huge opportunity to grow through what is going on. And in order for you and I to do it, we first have to decide that we're going to do it, right? So extraordinary results, they're going to lay beyond our comfort zone. We need to embrace the idea of getting uncomfortable, of challenging ourselves. I think it was Les Brown that said, do today what others don't to have tomorrow what others won't. So when we come from that perspective, Tony said, the bigger the why, the easier the how. My mentor, Tony Robbins. Now, what's really important here, now we'll say like truly a mentor, I was handpicked by Tony to be a national speaker and trainer with him, travel the country. I'm trained by him and I'm trained by the people that trained him in all this change work, all the leadership skills necessary for success to occur. So what we really want to just get clear to is, how are you wired? You're part of Marketing Boost, so I already know that you're brilliant. I already know that you have access to an incredible tool, but maybe you're not applying it as much. And right now, this is the time that we've got to, like, you're in a unique situation as well, being with Marketing Boost, because of what you offer. People, as they're tightening their pocketbooks, are going to want to take advantage of other opportunities. So not only can you build your business, whatever that is, whether it's even the Marketing Boost business or other businesses, these are huge value adds. So why is it going to be important for you to succeed, to take your business to the next level? Because if you don't have a powerful enough why, we're not going to take the action necessary. So what is your strongest, most compelling reason? Is it your family? Is it your legacy? What is it that's going to keep you pushing through these challenges to not get sucked into the drama and move forward into designing that incredible life? So in order for you and I to do that, if this is making sense, throw a hands up or something so we can get some love here. Make sure we're all on the same page here. Oh, there we go. Got some hands up. Love it. So in order for you and I to do this, let's dive in, shall we? We could talk more about how wacky stuff is, but that's not important. We're going to dive into the 3 keys, the 3 pillars of transformation so that you and I can have an extraordinary life and push through it. So the first pillar is state, or our emotions, right? The emotional fuel. The strategy. What's our strategy? What's our plan? Both strategies and tactics. And we get into that in some deeper training. So right now, let's just talk high level. And then what is the story? What is the story you and I are telling? What is the story that we're reading, that we're being bombarded with right now? So these are the icons, and you'll see these more through this. But let's just quickly dive into what stops us. So go ahead. What stops us from taking action, from going to that next level? And go ahead, throw in the Q&A section. So I guess it'll be less Q's, more A's. But if you do have a question, feel free to throw that in there as well. But what stops us? What do you think? And maybe it's not what stops you. What stops other people? Exhaustion. Great. Fear. Thank you, Carol. Yes. And by the way, that exhaustion, our own self, fury, 100%. Yeah. Right. It's at the end of the day, it's really fear. Now, some of us, we may not call it fear. We may call it stress. We may call it frustration. We may call it exhaustion, but it really is, it's fear. And what is fear, right? Where does it live and how does it serve us? Well, see these 2 little things here. These are the amygdala in our brain. And really all that does is fight, flight, or freeze. But really there's a fear behind those fears. There's a fear behind those fears. And why is this important? Well, it's what's going to stop. We'll unpack it more, but it's really what stops us because we're afraid that we're not going to look good, that we're going to fail, that maybe if I fail, then I'm not going to be loved. I'm not going to be cherished. My legacy, I'm going to be remembered as being a failure as opposed to, so if I don't try anything, then I can't be remembered as a failure necessarily because I won't be playing as large. But really, it shows up in every area of our lives, doesn't it? It shows up in our relationships. It shows up in our business, in our health, in our finances, in all the opportunities, and ultimately in our spiritual experience, our spiritual life. Now, how does it work? Really, basically, all behavior is belief-driven, fueled by emotions. So let's just dive into the first pillar, and that's our state. So let's imagine for a moment that you could have, well, actually, why don't you throw in our Q&A section? What are some emotions? What are some states that you are aware of that maybe you experience? Go ahead, throw them in there. Got some, I got imposter syndrome, great. These are for the joy and peace. Love it. What are some other ones that you see, you experience? Love, joy, and peace. Happiness. Love it. Excitement. Beautiful. I love that you all are showing up with some great states. Oh, no, let's just go right here. So there are tons of different states and emotions. Now, I love how all the ones we're seeing right now from Louie and Shara and Carl are positive. They're resourceful states, right? Happiness, excitement, and so forth. So let's imagine for a moment that we know other people. Maybe there are some prospects, some clients and customers. They may not be experiencing as much of that. How many of y'all have also seen there's a lot of negativity that is out there? So while we do have our gratitude and peace and calm and joy, we also seeing people experiencing sadness and rage, irritation. Here's a really sad statistic I've recently learned. Suicide is up something like 40 some odd %. I mean, these are astonishing numbers that people are so distraught that the decisions that they're making is to end their life. Now, if there was any major motivation behind what I do and what I stand for, it is the opposite of suicide. It is living, it is giving, it is loving, it is creating an incredible life. As a matter of fact, my wife and I, we were blessed enough to work in the treatment space, and our whole role was just simply to help people create a life worth being sober for. When I was in the treatment space. So now, like, the challenge is you and I, we know people who've gotten addicted, not necessarily to drugs or alcohol, but maybe to some other things to get out of these non-resourceful negative resources. But let's back up. I digress. Let's imagine you could have any car in the world. Money was no object, and you maybe picked this Lamborghini. Beautiful car. How many of y'all would like this Lamborghini? I don't know, maybe in that color, but very, very handsome car. Yeah, there you go. Michael, love it. Tom, of course, it's badass. So would you, though, let's imagine, so you need fuel, you need gas. Would you pull up to a very convenient, right there in front of you, gas station? You have two choices. You have a super convenient gas station right there, or one that's going to require a little effort. Maybe it's going to, you can still make it, but it's a little out of your way. This is the super close one. It's got even leaded gas, it looks like, and it's got the old cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching number, that does the fuel. And it has this nice fresh market and this thrift shop. Would you put this gas into this car?
Hell no.
Hell no. No, of course not. Why? Because we know what would happen. We know that that's non-resourceful fuel. It would not drive well at all. That would be non-resourceful fuel. So that would be akin to making decisions, taking action out of fear, anger, anxiety, desperation, frustration, resignation. Now, this is resignation, actually. Not to go too deep down this, but resignation is really probably the worst, because all we've done is accepted the crap. We're so resigned that we just, who cares? Don't even care anymore. What are you going to do? It is the way it is. And it's a killer. It is worse, because resignation is what happens when we hang out with other people who are resigned to the fact that it sucks and there's nothing we can do about it. So then what do? We don't push through. We don't take the action. We don't do what we need to do in order to get the results that we're committed to. So then what happens? Crash and burn. So what you and I do is to think about this. What are more resourceful fuels, more resourceful states? And that's what you guys posted: joy and peace, excitement, happiness, right? Gratitude, curiosity, certainty, love, humor, courage, a state of peacefulness, of calmness, of confidence and belief in yourself that you can make whatever happens. And quite honestly, my friends, that's who you truly are. When you're in the zone, think about it. And maybe when you first started your business and you had this excitement around it, this gratitude for the opportunity and taking advantage of the resources, using Marketing Boost as an example, taking advantage of the resources that Marco has available. And then what would you do? You would take action with them. And that's who you are. Now, why is this really important? Because the truth is there are more people living here these days. There are more people who are even more frustrated than they've ever been. And it's your job, you and I, to access even more confidence, even more gratitude, even more love, even more certainty, even more courage. Because the person who has the strongest emotion is going to prevail in any negotiation. So as you're building your business, if your prospect has more fear than you have confidence, they're going to win. They won't take action. They won't follow through with the offer that you have available, which I know you, if you're part of this community, if you know Marco and you're in this space, I know you have a deep appreciation and care for people and you want to help them. And sometimes helping them is maybe getting them involved in a business opportunity that may have some financial or time the two things that most people have a challenge with: commitments, and then they have fear around that. And if you don't have more confidence and they have fear that this is going to help them, this is going to make a difference, they're not going to take action, and you have not served them. You've not added the value, and your legacy, well, then you will be back to that. So your true identity is stepping into your true power, which then creates this incredible life, which you deserve, which brings us to the second pillar, and that is our strategy. Now, we're wired for non-pain. So strategically, what you and I are oftentimes doing, whether we realize it or not, is doing things to avoid feeling uncomfortable, to avoid feeling pain, which then creates the same loop that we had before because, well, we don't want to ask for the sale. We don't want to push for it. We don't want to get uncomfortable. So we don't take action, or we don't want to make someone else. It's just a whole loop, right? But here's why. Neurobiologically speaking, we're wired for non-pain. So there's science behind this. So when we understand it, we could do something about it. Our pain sensors outnumber our pleasure sensors by a ratio of 10-1. So essentially, our brain is just looking for ways to avoid feeling any pain. And stress is pain. So think about it. What are some of the strategies that you have experienced in avoiding pain? What do we do? What do some of the people you know do that we're trying to help? Well, people can maybe go onto the internet. They're scrolling away, right? Maybe they're tuning into the news or getting a dopamine rush to be like, oh, this shouldn't happen, right? Getting upset around that. Maybe a little comfort food. Some people read, some people drink, some people meditate, some people exercise, maybe write. Some people are gambling, or maybe they do some gaming and so forth. But the question is, are they supporting you? Are they supporting you? Now, there are strategies that Marco is going to share and has shared. He's got all these trainings on growing your Marketing Boost business. But if you're not in the right state, you won't implement the strategies, right? If you're frustrated, if you're angry, if you're bitter, if you're just resigned, like, no one's got any money, no one's got any time, everybody's freaking out. Well, then we're not going to get those results. And guess what we're doing at that stage? What are we doing when we're saying, oh, nobody's got any money, no one's going to do this, it's going to take too much time? We're going into the third pillar, the story. We're telling a story. We're telling a story about, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, no one's got any money. Oh, the economy sucks. Oh, this, right? And then what does that do? Creates this psycho-cybernetic loop where we become a self-fulfilling prophecy. We start feeling the pain, of the horror story that we are telling. And while we're telling that story, we're feeling that pain. And then we implement a strategy to avoid feeling that pain. And then we got another story to tell. And then you could see how this just becomes this ongoing loop that we've got to interrupt.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
So real quickly, I just share with you a couple ideas here of some people I've helped and worked with, right? 𝗁𝗔𝗄𝐿 was on The Secret Millionaire, shared about me. Hey, here's a great thing about Doug. He focuses on getting you rapid results by getting you laser focused, cutting through the clutter, and inspiring you to produce outcomes. How do we do that? Well, by really understanding how we think, how we learn, how we take action, and understand the power of these three pillars. 𝗁𝗁𝗶𝘀, she was a real estate broker up in New York. Amazing. He brings incredibly high level of integrity and creativity to his work. More to the point, gets results. My commitment to you is to get you results so that you can live as the true self you are. You are the author, right? You are writing your story. Now, the state we are in, is that going to impact how we write it? the state we are in, is that going to have influence on what decisions we make, who we enroll in our story? Because not only are we the author, we are the lead character, we're the director, we're the producer, we actually are the casting agent. We bring those people in. Who are we putting ourselves in front of? Who are we enrolling into our story? We're also the marketer and the narrator. We are all of it. Now, question. I know you're here, so I know you're already extraordinary. I know that you are already crushing it in so many ways. And if you are honest, do we sometimes tell a non-resourceful story just by proxy, just because we've been around such craziness that we'd be delusional to think that there's nothing going on in the world right now and that we don't need to prepare, that we don't need to step up? It would be absolutely Pollyannic to think that everything's going to be just fine without adjusting, without accessing even more energy, even more power within. So you've got to be mindful. We're being hypnotized right now by the news, by the media, we're being inundated. Like as soon as we go on, like think about it, like the algorithms. Has anyone ever noticed that when you start looking at one thing, you start getting more of them in your news feed? That it just comes popping up, right? And what is that doing? That is influencing our thoughts. We're being hypnotized all the time by someone else if we're not careful. So we need to make a decision to be our own author. Because if we think about it, how does it make us feel when we tell that crap story? How does it feel? And we look to, and we teach us in the program about what the secondary gains are by having these challenges, these problems, and it's really unfortunate or fortunate that it works that way, because if you get yourself in the right environment, it is extraordinarily powerful. And here's what's interesting. So, Marco, if I recall correctly, you had shared that there was 180 some odd registrants, yet we have roughly 25 people here, which shows that a huge percentage of the people who signed up for this, who said, ooh, I want to do something like that, allowed whatever was going on in their life to impact their emotions, their state. Because I'm sure, this was Monday, you sent this out. So it's not like this is something that was planned months ago and people forgot or life happens. So basically, 80% of the people who signed up told a story about, oh, I don't need to get on IR. It looks like a good idea, but then didn't take action. Wonder where else that shows up in people's lives, where that shows up in our customers' lives. So the question then becomes, are you ready to write a new chapter? Because you are on your own heroes or warriors journey, aren't you? And now's the time that we recognize that we are in a battle. We are in a battle. We are getting more resistance right now than we've ever had, at least in most of our lifetimes. And things are different now, even, not to get more doom and gloomy about how important this is, but in the 70s, when there was that recession that we had, there was, the super high inflation. One of the things that no one's talking about is while there was high inflation, the interest rates were also high, meaning that while, no one wants to be paying 18%, on a mortgage, but your savings account was also making 10 or 15%. So people were able to hedge it. Right now, we don't have that going on. So now it's up to you. It's up to you to take your business to the next level, to take your personal life to the next level, to design your legacy. We need to take control as the hero of our warrior's journey. And how do we do it? Well, we've got these 3 pillars. When we master these, everything transforms. So in order for you and I to do that, though, then we need to know what our desired outcome is. And are we committed to creating freedom in your life? Are you committed to creating freedom in your life? Let's see some hands in there. Let's see some hands. Who is committed to freedom, creating freedom in every area of your life? Emotional freedom, financial freedom, spiritual freedom, right? This is a decision that you and I must make, right? Do we want to be the exemplar of possibility for our families? Like, this is the legacy. How are we going to be remembered? We could set ourselves up right now for extraordinary things. But it's a decision. How are we going to be remembered? What example are we showing up as for the people we love, the people who are modeling us, our children, our nieces, our nephews, our grandchildren, our friends, our business partners? Man, if we start showing cracks in the armor, man, we could crumble like a lawn chair in a hurricane. We're going to be so mindful of this. Now it's never been more important. So are you committed to delivering results, not excuses? Because the world demands results, not excuses. We cannot deliver both. So from that perspective, we got to make a decision. To decide is to cut off. Decide once and for all. Now is the time to make a decision. Now's the time to take action, right? Action is always the antidote. You've got an incredible opportunity here with Marketing Boost, an automation boost. If we don't take action, it's useless. It just sits there. It is not valuable. And here's the challenge, though. If you don't really embrace what we just talked about here, you could go out and take some actions. You're not going to get the results because you didn't show up in the right fuel. Maybe implemented not necessarily the best strategy because you learned it in not the right fuel. And then you started telling another story. Because wherever you are right now, the decisions and actions of your past brought you where you are today in every area of your life. So if you're ready to make that change, to transform your life, let's get a show of hands. Are you ready to transform your life? Are you ready to take it to the next level, to lead by example? Well, Tony Robbins had a great saying. He said, it's in moments of decision that our destiny is shaped. So choose wisely, my friends. These decisions are what's going to create our legacy. So question, let's imagine for a moment that you're able to truly master your emotions. How much will your life change? How much will it transform? Because by the way, change is automatic. Transformation or progress is a choice, isn't it? See, if you don't do anything, if you don't do a single thing and you just keep going the way you've been going, will your life change? And the answer is, of course, it's just going to get worse. However, if you take advantage of all the opportunities in front of you, invest your most valuable asset, your time, your energy, your focus, and probably there will be some capital investment into you. Your most valuable asset is you. You will get incredible results. Now, obviously, I can't teach all of this today, right? But my goal here is to pique your mind and, of course, offer you an opportunity to dive deeper, because it'd be my absolute privilege, like my honor, to serve you on a deeper level, to help you take your Marketing Boost business or whatever business you're using Marketing Boost in to take, like, just to get extraordinary results. So here's what we used to think, right? We used to think, just do it, right? Nike gives it away, just do it. Yes, and if we just do it and we are not in the right state, if we haven't planned ahead, we haven't been conscious about it, we could be just doing the wrong thing and not getting the right results. The other one is work hard. Again, we could work hard, but if we're not working smart, work as hard as you want, and if you're not implementing the right strategy, you're not going to be getting to the outcome you want. You're actually going to be getting to the outcome you don't want even faster. It's all who you know. Now, is your network, I love the saying, your network is your net worth. I believe in that with a caveat. You could show up into a room full of rock star ballers who are your ideal referral, your ideal client, your ideal partner. And if you haven't mastered what we've talked about and what I can teach you through the Resilience Through Recession program, they're not going to invite you back to the party. Or they're not going to create the offers. You could be in the room, but you're not going to get the offer. You're not going to get the opportunity to take your life to the next level. And you say, oh, see, it's not who you know. They know this. You'll just make up another story. Just grin and bear it, right? Just push on through. Yes, and what if you could not grin and bear it, but you could create a cocktail of emotional fuel that takes you to the next level, that gets you the results because you're able to push through even when the going gets a little tough, right? The old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Because, it's success. They used to say, well, 80% is just showing up, right? Well, you're here. That's huge. I want to honor you. You are part of actually, man, it's not even 80%. 80% didn't show up to this. So already you are heads and shoulders above the rest. And that's what I know, that you are poised and ready to take it even further. And I'm excited to be part of that journey. But then they said, well, it's 80% mindset and 20% mechanics. Now we believe that it is actually 90 to 95% mindset. The tactics, the strategies are useless without the mindset. It is almost all mindset. Leadership is about mindset. As a matter of fact, I was listening to The Strangest Secret the other day, Earl Nightingale, if you check it out, brilliant. Basically, he said, what is the hardest thing to do? And this is going back into olden times, like when things, you had to implement a lot more strategies. You had to do a lot more for yourself than we do today. Just to even, make dinner, it was a to-do. You didn't have a microwave. You didn't have pre-prepped food. It was like you had to cut it down and, grow it, kill it, and whatever. Everything required tons more effort. And even back then, it wasn't about what you did. It was about how you thought. It was about doing the most difficult thing, which was access everything that I'm talking about, that I am privileged enough to be able to train. So the truth is, now's the time. We need you. We need you to step up. We need you to be the best version of yourself. And for whom? Well, for you, but for your spouse, for your children, for your business, for your community. This is for your legacy, my friends. How do you want to be remembered? If you remember, Maya Angelou said, people don't remember what you did or what you said. They remember how you made them feel. First pillar, state. How are we making people feel? Are we getting them excited about the opportunities we have available, that we're here to bring them, whether it's Marketing Boost or whether it's the business that you're building using Marketing Boost as part of your marketing arm? How are we making them feel? Or making them feel excited, ready to take action? Do you have the skills necessary to move that needle to the next stage, to take it to whatever your goal is? We have this, silly season coming up, maybe, right? New Year's resolutions. Are you committed to a better year next year than you had this year? What's most important to you? Are you ready to design that life, to take it to that next level, to be remembered, to create that legacy that you were able to have the most incredible life during times that were maybe the most incredibly difficult? I know you can do it. I believe you can. And when you access these tools, when you sharpen that axe even more, when you access the miracle that you always already are, providence shines. And it's not as difficult as you may seem, you may think, because it's simple, not easy. What I teach is simple, not easy. So if you're willing to do simple, but challenge yourself, this is definitely for you. This is definitely an opportunity that is beyond what perhaps you've experienced in the past. Now, that being said, we always want to make a decision from a powerful state. So right now, what I'd like you to do is just imagine what your life will be when you access your true potential, your true identity. What are some goals that you have for your business? What are some goals that you have? Have you been thinking about your new year and what you want to accomplish, what you want to experience? What's the legacy you want to leave? How do you want to be remembered? Where do you want to take your personal and professional life and make that picture really big? Really bold, really powerful. How does it feel to own that you are in control, that every decision you make is going to have consequences, have outcomes, and that you're committed to no longer settle for less than your absolute best? Now, if that's you, I know it is because you're still here with us. So I want to acknowledge you and appreciate you. So here's the offer. Here's what we'd like to offer is outstanding training. The Resilience Through Recession package is amazing. So first thing that it includes is the Freedom Hack program, creating emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, financial freedom. So call it Freedom Hack because this is how we hack our way to that. So we've got a whole bunch of modules where we break down how to do this, how to create it. So as a master practitioner and trainer of NLP, we unpack how people, you and I, how we do this. Now, why is this important? Not only do we influence ourselves, do we show up with more resilience, more strength, more confidence, more love, more gratitude, more curiosity, more humor, more levity, we also understand how to help others get into the states that is going to be effective for them to take action. So you're going to learn how to create unstoppable confidence and certainty, how to access even more creativity in a time when we've got to be even more creative to try new things. As a matter of fact, today I had lunch with a guy and he had shared how someone had broken in to get a meeting. So what did he do? He sent one shoe. So he calls up and he says, "Hey, did you get my shoe?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, I got a shoe." And he goes, "Great. Now that I've got one shoe in the door, let's come in and get the other one in so we can have a meeting." Creativity. That takes boldness. That takes someone to go, "Man, I don't care how that looks. I'm so committed to getting results. I'm willing to step outside my comfort zone and be creative." We're going to awaken your true hero within, who you truly are at your core, to deliver extraordinary results, to generate that high-test emotional fuel so that you can take on any challenge, that you could follow through, that you could do whatever it takes, morally, ethically, and legally, of course, to get extraordinary results. So that alone is already worth the price of admission. Like to have that, I know that's not as sexy sometimes. Some people are like, well, of course, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I get it. Yeah. Well, let's kick it up a notch, shall we? Let's dig in even a little deeper. So once you've accessed some of these tools on how to generate, let's give you some strategy. Let's give you some even deeper tools.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
So we've got the Heart of Influence package. So that's 13 modules where we actually unpack how to influence with heart, morally, ethically, legally, and to do it having fun, to do it with absolute positivity, which I already know you guys had shared. Your fuel, your states that you shared off the rip were all positive, all resourceful. So that is brilliant. So here's what we're going to do in this training, this Heart of Influence, which was the 𝗔𝗠će of influence, right? Which is sales at the end of the day, marketing and sales is influence. We go into the 8 rules of engagement, the power of state and how to utilize all these tools that I shared in Freedom Hack, how to use it in influencing others, the power of rapport, how to create and build amazing rapport so people will want to do business with you. We're going to dive deep into figuring out what your customers' real needs are on multiple levels, right? So that you can connect with them so deeply that they know you get me. You get me, you understand me, you're going to help me. Because I know if you're on this call, you are a transformation agent. You are someone who loves, cares, and deeply wants to help people transform their lives through whatever business you're doing. And even if it's just doing it with marketing boosts, which is so powerful, and how to present those with heart. You can also unpack the 8 laws of influence and also how to handle objections, right? When you're going to get them, that's part of life. You're going to get that resistance. You're going to get those objections. How do you handle them? So you've got the freedom hack. You've got the 3 pillars. You've got all that really unpacked, dialed in. And then you get the objections. Now we can utilize all of these tools, the 8 laws of influence, those 8 rules of engagement, right? And then we've got some bonus in that training, some social media influencing that good friend of ours, partner, Walter, that's actually Marco, where that one event you're at, Walter did a training on how to use social media as an influence tool. Good or good? So when we break that down, I'll just share with you, but wait, there's more. So we got the Freedom Hack program, that's $4,997. Then the Heart of Influence, which was another $4,997, another $5,000 package. Then remember I shared we're being hypnotized all the time? Being hypnotized all the time. So in order to undo what we've been hypnotized with, I have this guided hypnotic meditation. So it's self-hypnosis, all programs that I've done, $500 value. That is 13 different, and they're constantly, I'm adding more as we go, 13 guided hypnotic meditations. So I'm a firm believer in meditation and prayer and calming the mind and in being present. But sometimes just sitting quietly could be a little difficult. So what I did was I created these hypnotic meditations, and they're about 30 minutes each. And it helps you either relax, gain confidence, get creativity, to really explore unpacking, like to no longer procrastinate, to take massive action. But I also use binaural beats. So it helps you get into that theta wave or delta wave or alpha wave. They're all different ones that we use to get into that state so that you can really get these processes in. Then I did a training on the heart of networking, right? So if your network is your net worth, one of the cool things when I worked with Tony Robbins, I was basically dropped off in a new city, and I would live there for 3 to 5 months. And my goal was to infiltrate the network and meet all these people's movers and shakers. As a matter of fact, I was on a call today on the way back to my house, to the office, is a good friend of mine that I met in Milwaukee applying this. We're still friends to this day, and we've done business together. Man, networking is so important. And have you ever been to a networking event where, as soon as someone, you go, hey, hi, what do you do? The first thing they do is try and sell you something. You ever have that happen? You're like, what? No, I'm like, that's not what networking is about. Networking is about building your network, not transactions. So I unpacked that and how I was so successful working with Tony and creating incredible relationships. Then we're going to do 3 group training calls, semi-private training calls, coaching calls, and the group implementation calls. So there's 6 calls. And basically, if you work with me as doing group coaching, doing all that, it starts at $6,000 for a 12-month program. So a 12-week program. So this is just a way to get in on a, kind of a deeper level for a shorter period of time, but I really I'm committed to helping you get extraordinary results. So the total on that would be $13,685 as an investment in yourself, which is, I think Marco, you had shared, you had one person you wrote for 1 month, a $9,000 check for
just for the activation certificates. Yes.
Yeah. So, man, if you stepped up your game, seems to me you can recoup that investment without a doubt if that was the investment. And it's the holidays. So we want to make it obviously very, very, very doable. So $24.97. So it's $2,500, which is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. I understand that we all have a lot going on. So here's what I did. Marco and I, we had a conversation around, how could we make this even better? And I said, well, it is the holidays. We're all getting hammered. I get it. Man, I got creamer this morning. That was usually like $3. It was $6 for creamer for coffee. It's, I get it. So rather than increase pricing here, let's offer a special deal. And I wanted to do the right thing, of course, by you all, because I love Marketing Boost. I love everything that you do. So here's what we're going to do. Use code BOOST. And it is $997. So less than $1,000 investment for the Freedom Hack program, Heart of Influence, the guided hypnotic meditations, the Heart of Networking, and 6 calls where we really dive in.
Now's the time. If you're thinking about how are you going to expand your business, how are you really going to prepare for 2023 and 2024 and beyond? It starts with the mindset, guys. And I can't tell you enough of why you should be doing something like this with Doug, and specifically with Doug, because he's an expert, and he will be holding your hand with this one-on-one training that's included, plus the 6 other training calls and all of the other material.
Glad you got some value. And obviously stay in touch with Marco, myself. You'll probably see more of me as I just am continuing to support. I'm doubling down on you. I'm doubling down on everyone on this call. I'm doubling down on humanity to ensure that we are accessing our true potential and helping others make this world a better place. And you're doing it. So the truth is, when we access our true power, when we really manage our state effectively, when we implement the right strategies, when we consciously write our story, game changer. And then when we take advantage of all these keys of influence, again, as a master practitioner and trainer of NLP, of neuro-linguistic programming, that Heart of Influence is showing you how to effectively communicate, how to influence, how to enroll, how to really dig into what your customers' needs are so that you can get even better results for yourself and, of course, your customer and your client. Then we got to battle this, all the self-talk, all the information, all the stuff that we shared earlier. Thank you, Steve, for reminding us of that monkey story, is that we're being pulled off the ladder all the time, the ladder of our dreams, the ladder to success, the ladder to joy, to love, to true freedom. We're being pulled down by people who don't even know why they're doing it. So be willing to step through that, to step into challenging yourself to greatness. And that hypnosis is going to help you with that. It's going to help you unlock and unleash so that you can really show up present, show up powerfully, show up with confidence, with certainty. So you'll have more confidence, more certainty, more creativity, more enthusiasm than your prospects have fear. And then that networking package, a networking training, brilliant, because really I unpack how I was able to create such a powerful network, just going to networking events and how to infiltrate those and how to show up and how to be the best version of yourself and to connect with other people. And then with those 6 training calls, 6 coaching calls, we're going to make sure that you are firing on all cylinders, that we're keeping that momentum going. And then for those first 3 of you, which I know, Carol, you're in there, you were going to do a one-on-one so I could really dive in and understand you and what's going on, so we could be sure that you are accessing exactly what you need in this program. So there's no ambiguity. You're not like, oh, how do I do this? Like, oh, is this relevant for me? Like, I will drill down and show you exactly what is going to work for you the best to get the best results.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres and my buddy co-host, Christian D. Evans. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.